Hey guys, today we're servicing this Saint M800 derailleur. Make sure you have the right one. Just look here, it'll say Saint, and it's going to be a rapid rise. Some tools you're going to need are a pick, a screwdriver, some pliers, and an Allen set. Alright, so most of this stuff is all pretty complicated. So start off by removing these tiny little clips here for the pulleys. Alright, once you have removed and maybe not lost the clips, time to take off the pulleys. Just unscrew them like every other pulley. And upon taking off the pulleys, I have just realized this is a prototype, which is super cool. I've never had one of these. So yeah, if your first gen Saint is different from mine, let me know in the comments. Yeah, this is super cool, so I'm definitely keeping this in my collection, or I'll use it in a downhill bike in a future video. So yeah, stay tuned. Alright, then just screw off the pinch bolt. Alright, then grab your 4mm Allen wrench, unscrew the little cover on the pinnacle. Alright, so after taking it off, you'll see these two little pieces. Don't worry, because I'll show you how to put them back when we assemble it. Alright, now about this little part right here that screws onto the Saint hub, you can press it out like this, it'll just pop out, but I'm just going to leave it in here and press it out later when we clean it. Alright, now grab your pick and just pull off this little clip. Great. Alright, now after I found that stupid clip, let's take everything else off. First comes the spring and the seal, and then the bolt, and the other arrangement we have going on here. Alright, so take that little bolt out, and then this, you just press it out with your thumb, or like a plier maybe. Yeah, go ahead and pull that out. And just like any other derailleur from this era, this has a little 2mm Allen wrench. So you just get your wrench and unscrew it. After it's out, just pull up. Okay, so my cage is really hard to pull out. There's like zero grease in there, so this is why you need to maintain your derailleurs. There you go, pops out. All right, now everything's taken apart and it is time to do some cleaning. For this, I like to use some cleaner or degreaser. Just remember, when you're using brake cleaner, stay away from the plastic parts. Alright, servicing the pulley. First thing, you gotta pop off the little metal washer and take it out from the other side. Now you can pop the actual seal off if you want. Depends on how smooth your bearing spins. If it spins perfectly fine, I would just leave it alone. But if it does spin bad, you want to pop it first from the inside, then go from the outside like this, and it just pops off. Then you can clean out the bearings and repack them with some fresh grease and check if there's any dirt in there. You see there's a little bit in this bun, so I'll just clean that out and put the seal back on. Alright, now popping the seal back on, you can do this with 2 thumbs. Works the best, and you can feel it just pop in. Alright, and then you want to see both of the metal rings around, you want to see both of those, and then just clean off the seal and put on the metal washers. Alright, then clean down the metal washers and clean down the little seal and slide them back on. Press the 2 metal washers together and you want to hear a little pop. You want to make sure they're even on both sides, sit flush, and it spins nice and smooth. Now just clean off the outside here, and now your tension pulley is all nice and serviced. And in my case, I'm using this ultrasonic cleaner, and all I'm using is some water and dish soap. Alright, now everything is nice and cleaned down and ready to go. And another thing you're going to need for the assembly is grease. Alright, first off, for the pinnacle, you want to grease it up nice and good, all the sides, and you want to get the sleeve and slide it on in. Alright, now you want to grab your spring. On one side, it's going to be recessed in a little bit and then on the other side it's going to be flush. So grab the recessed side and make sure it sticks up, and then find the little hole and stick it in. Alright, now you grab your little other plate and put this little washer on there. Now you want to grease up the inside of that little part and grab your bolt and stick it through. Alright, now you want to get your bolt and stick it through together with the other part, just like that. Alright, now grab your seal, make sure it's like the thinner one. There's another one here which usually stays in there, and just slide it on. Alright, now you want to get your retaining ring. You want to push down and over, and you want to get it right around that little spot right there, and then you want to put on your clip. Alright, so once you got the clip on, remember also put on your B-limit screw bolt. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and jump over right to the B-knuckle. Grab your cage and grab your spring. Make sure you put the little end where it's recessed. These two coils here are a little bit narrower, and you want to put in one of these two holes. This is the tighter one, and the one on the left is the looser one. And we're going to go with the tighter one. Alright, the spring is in. Make sure your little plastic seal is in there. I'll lift it in there. And I would just join the two together. You feel that pop, and make sure it goes all the way down. Now you want to go ahead and rotate your cage all the way around, and then push down. Make sure it stops right there. Then you want to grab your little pin, put some grease on the end, and stick it through. And grab your 2mm and screw it all the way in until it stops. Alright, now for the pulleys, for your ceramic one, you can put a little bit of grease in there. You can mix it in with some chain oil or just some kind of lubricant to make it a little bit smoother. Then grab your ceramic pulley, grab your ceramic bushing, and slide it in. Alright, now you want to put in your rubber seals. Make sure they face outwards like this so they catch the dirt. And then grease up the inside of the ceramic bushing and put on your metal seals. Alright, grab your bolt, screw it onto the cage, and then you want to make sure it spins nice and smooth. You can experiment with all such different greases and lubricants. Just make sure there's no rubbing, you don't hear any rubbing, and it's consistent. Now you want to grab your little clip and pop it on. And for the sealed bearing tension pulley, just make sure the lettering is facing you. Then tighten that bolt and put on the little clip. And finally, for the top of the P-knuckle, you want to put a light layer of grease around the walls there, and grab your other thing that bolts onto the Saint hub. Just make sure you line up the little notch there and slide it in. Alright, now comes the slightly tricky part of putting this little yellow stopper here and this other little plate. So here you want to line it up like this. It's a really specific way you got to do it. Just line it up like that. Then grab your little metal thing. This goes right up above it, sits right on top of the yellow rubber. Now you want to make sure this thing is pointing downwards, because when you put the plate on, you don't want that metal part to slip. And then from the other side, you grab the bolt and start screwing it in. So here, grab your 4mm and start screwing it in. Now, as hard as this was to rebuild, you can see that it's really useful, because when you're doing 60 down your downhill trail, you're hitting a bunch of bumps. This will definitely save your derailleur from destroying itself. And also don't forget to put on the little clamp bolt, and then you have yourself a fully rebuilt derailleur. I can't even think of a stronger derailleur than the Saint. As you can see, this one's got a fair share of use over the years. So remember guys, if you have an old derailleur, don't replace it, just rebuild it. Don't be afraid to use those other parts. Thanks to anyone who subbed, and I'll see you in the next one.